Kiss me each morning for a million years. Hold me each evening by your side.
Hello, everybody. My name is Frank, and I want to welcome you to Let's Talk About Music, a podcast where we talk about, well, singing and the people that love to sing, the voice that you were listening to, the music and the singing. That is TC Rahme. He is our very first guest, and you know what? He loves to sing. He's a person who stands out in the crowd. He's quite the crowd pleaser, a great entertainer in his own right. And as for myself, I started singing when I was about 60 years old, much too late in life, one might say. I'm now 72 years old, and I have loved every minute of it. If singing poorly is a crime, I would be in the federal penitentiary for life, but I don't care. I still sing. And even going beyond that, I have hosted karaoke for a couple of years. And the only reason I've done it is because if there was no karaoke host available to hold an event, we would not be able to have an opportunity to sing as we like to do. And so if there was not one available, I would do it. And I've been very happy doing that. And I get to hear a lot of wonderful people sing. And there is such talent out there that rivals anyone that's a professional out there today. And so with that, let's go on to our interview of Mr. TC Rahme. Hello, TC. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Frank. How are you today?
I'm doing peachy. Thank you so much for being my first guest on Let's Talk About Music. And for that reason, you get a shiny no prize. I'm sure you know what that means. You get absolutely nothing, but it's a kind gesture, is it not?
It's a very kind gesture. I'm glad to be your first.
Thank you so much. Well, look, you know, I do enjoy listening to you sing. You do a fabulous job. You're a great singer. And I want to ask you, when did you start singing?
Well, it started, I want to say somewhere around 1996. I want to say it was something like that. I was working for the Peppermill Casino at the time, and I was a blackjack and craps dealer. And one of the bands that used to play there a lot, the lead singer had a heart attack, and they were getting a bunch of fill-in lead singers until Tommy Bell came back from his heart attack. And I had talked to the keyboard player one night, and I said, man, you guys put anybody up there. He goes, learn a song, and we'll put you up there. He says, I dare you. And I kind of thought about it, and I said, you know what, that'd be kind of fun, you know. And so what happened was there's a big old row of blackjack tables on each side of this walkway. So you kind of walk in between the blackjack tables and on your way to the cabaret, and the cabaret overlooks the entire casino floor, so everybody could enjoy the music and see it. And so they invited me up there, and I was doing a song, Tough Enough by the Fabulous Thunderbirds. And so they introduced me, and it was like a movie. Everybody stopped what they were doing when they heard my name that I was going to sing on stage. So all of a sudden, we start the song and music, and boy, oh boy, everything went great, you know, and everybody was amazed, and it was just a fun time, you know. So I used to do this on my breaks because as a blackjack dealer or a craps dealer, you get a 20-minute break every hour. Well, I went up on one of my breaks, and so the next night they saw me there, and they said, "Hey, come on back up." So I did the same song because it's the only one I learned, and screwed it up totally. The first two verses went great. Then we went into the musical break, and for the life of me, I couldn't think of the words to the third and fourth verses. And I'm like, oh, my God. So I asked the guitar player, I said, hey, what's the words to the third verse? He goes, I don't know. It's your song. He goes, just sing the first two verses again. Well, I got up there and I started, and then I got screwed up. And so I ended up acting like I was French or something, going, Jean tous les bouillons. And finally I go, I can't do this. I stopped, and it was so funny. And they started laughing about it, making fun of it. And so I took a lot of razzing for that. But as I learned more and more, I actually did a couple more songs and learned a couple more songs. And I was up there, when they would play there, and it was kind of fun. And ended up singing with other groups too. But the funny thing about it was how I basically did a lot of songs. Once Tommy Bell came back, he really didn't want to sing. He goes, "Stay up here and do another one." I go, "I don't know the words to these songs all the way through." He goes, "Don't worry about it. I'll stand behind you. I'll tell you the next line, and then you sing it." So it became really hard because I had to listen to him tell me the words as I'm already singing the words from the previous spot he gave me, and then listening to what he's telling me the next verse is. And that's how I ended up getting going in the music business.
Wow, this was your actual first time ever singing, discovering that you like to do it and that you have the voice for it. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's wild. How old were you then? I know you're like 66 or something like that.
Yeah, I am 66. You know what? I had to be somewhere 38, 39, somewhere in that area.
Wow, so you
maybe it was earlier than that. I take that back. It was earlier than that.
So you discovered that actually fairly soon in life compared to the rest of us. And I don't consider myself to be a singer, but I do like to sing. And I discovered that I like to sing at age 60, maybe 61, 62, something like that. And I've enjoyed it. I love karaoke. It's a whole lot of fun. But you and your discovery of, you started singing. Did you go, wow, I like this?
Yeah. What happened was I really kind of got into it. So then I put together a bunch of songs that I knew that I really liked and stuff like that. And I ended up doing, after the first time I got on stage, about a year later, I recorded my first studio album. Mm-hmm. And it's all covers, songs that you would know. I did like My Girl and Oh Girl, My Girl. I was going to do somebody else's girl, but I thought they would get mad, so I didn't want to do that. But I did Toughen Up by the Fabulous Thunderbirds. I did Vehicle by Ides of March.
Yeah.
Just a lot of good songs. Joe Cocker. I did that. So that was my first album that I actually did.
So you discovered a whole new dimension, something new in your life that you'd never had before. And how did this affect you in your life?
You know what? It brought a lot of joy to my life because it opened up another door, something to devote some energy to. When you're a casino dealer and a supervisor and stuff like that, and all the things that I've done in the industry, it's pretty mundane. I mean, I love talking to people, but you know what? I really found out I loved entertaining. And the more the people liked it, the more I liked it and loved it. So it was pretty different.
Yeah, the love of music, the love of singing in particular, is something that is very, very special to many people. It is to me, as I'm sure it is to you, without any doubt.
Yeah.
And I remember an interview that was done of Tom Jones, the very famous singer, and he said that if his popularity declined and nobody wanted to go to his concerts, he didn't care. He'd still go to some pub or something, some bar, and just sing for the joy of singing because that's in his blood. He loves singing. I think that's a thing with a great many people. Now, you eventually went on to become a, what do they call it, a casino entertainer host or something like that?
No, I never did that. That would have been a fun thing to go into. Mm-hmm. I did do a lot of MC work for all the casinos that I've ever worked at. introducing it, like if they had a showroom and stuff like that. Sometimes I would be a guy that would introduce the talent. So at this Peppermill Casino, we would have groups come in every once in a while, and I would get to introduce them and stuff. So that was a big thing for me. And then later on in life, for 22 years, I was the head MC for a citywide event in Reno that was called Hot August Nights. It's where the town converted to 50s and 60s, basically, the whole week. They brought in all the muscle cars and the music industry. They used to set up a stage in the parking lot of one of the casinos that I later worked at, and it was a free concert, and we would bring in big name entertainment to actually perform at these events. And
like, for example, give us some names. Give us some names of the people
Frank, I'm telling you, I Johnny Rivers, the Righteous Brothers, the Temptations, the Four Tops, the Spinners, Coasters, Paul Anka, Frankie Avalon, Paul Revere and the Raiders, Eddie Money, Starship, Rick Springfield, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Hermits, America. And then I also introduced the Monkees on their 50th year anniversary tour. Mm-hmm. And Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And then one of my, I also introduced, like I said, the Righteous Brothers. And then later, after Bobby Hatfield had died, we had brought back Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers as a solo act. And then one of my favorite groups of all time was Kool and the Gang. Now, the Monkees was the year before Kool and the Gang. And the Monkees, because of being so popular and everything, they drew about 50,000 people to the parking lot and the stage out there. And then the following year with Kool and the Gang, they figured around 60,000 people were at this free concert. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate with the opening acts of these big acts. I've been able to sing with some of those bands prior to these guys coming out. So I've sang in front of probably 20,000 people at one time.
Did that make you nervous to do that the first time you sang in front of so many people?
Actually, no.
Oh.
By that time in my career, I was like, you give me a microphone, you may not get it back. I mean, I mean, literally, because I never wanted to get off the stage. You know, if I suffer from CRS, can't remember, and you know the S word, and that's the only thing that held me back from actually singing and performing as a full-time gig. I tried to learn the piano also, so I could do comedy and my own music at the same time. But I never did. But yeah, I would go out on these stages for 22 years and sing. And it was so much fun. I mean, every time I go to a show of when I see other people that I know here in Mesquite and stuff and do a show, I want to be part of that show. Mm-hmm. I want to get out there and sing, you know, but it's their show. But, you know, I have a lady that I do sing with. Her name is Tammy D.
Oh, she's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, TC and Tammy D. We just got done doing a show this last week, and she does Whitney Houston unbelievably well.
Yeah,
and I love getting together with her. Her husband is a professional sound man, and so when we get together, it really comes out halfway decent for our shows. But yeah, that's the fun. I mean, it gets you. It gets you going. And do I get nervous? Nah, not anymore.
Wow.
You know,
but you did go through perhaps a stage where you were nervous, maybe the first time you sang at the casino or something.
Actually, believe it or not, I was not nervous the first time I sang. After I screwed up the second night, then I was worried because I had to go out on stage again and sing again. And I'm going, oh, which one's it going to be, number one or number two?
Right. I get you.
And thank God it went, you know, the way of number one. So there wasn't no flaws, or there was flaws, don't get me wrong. But, you know, as far as enjoying myself and not embarrassing myself anymore, that was good. You know, I think I have two signature songs I kind of do. Well, Vehicle by Ides of March was probably my one song that was my signature song for so many years. And then it also morphed into My Girl by the Temptations. And then lately it's been Tennessee Whiskey. I get a lot of compliments on Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton's version. And I really enjoy doing that one. And that's also on my YouTube channel. So's Vehicle and My Girl. So if they want to check that out, they can go check that out at TC Rahme on YouTube. And you'll see my picture there, and you can grab some sounds.
Cool. Now, I became aware of you at karaoke at Mad Mike's in Mesquite, Nevada. Of course, you did the thing in Peppermill, Reno, Nevada. Tell us about how you got into karaoke. What was your first exposure to that?
Well, it was funny because I had been singing with live bands, and I had never done karaoke before.
Had you even heard of it?
Oh, yeah, I heard of it, but I never did it. So I go to this bar that we always went to, and they had karaoke. So I want to say it was 2 a.m. And I got off of work. I got over there about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I put my name on the list, you know, and so the KJ was over there, and I went up to him. I said, hey, I have never done this before. I said, but I want to try this song. And the song was Spinning Wheels by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So I get up there, and I do it. And I start to leave the stage, and the guy goes, oh, no. He goes, don't give me this crap that you have never done this before. I said, I haven't. I've never sung karaoke before. I said, I've sung with a live band, but never karaoke. He goes, I'm going to put a song on. And he goes, you're going to do it. I go, well, what if I don't know the words? He goes, it's karaoke. The words are right there.
There you go. Karaoke is very forgiving, and the words are right there. I've never been able to memorize the words to one song. Maybe before I die, I might be able to do that.
I'm the same way. So he picks the song "Sex Machine" by James Brown. Yeah, and it goes, "Wow, get on the scene like a sex machine." Well, all of a sudden I'm doing it, and it's in the middle of winter, and my throat was just beat up after that song. But I went down on one knee. And while I was singing, he comes over and puts my jacket over me like it was a cape from James Brown. Yeah. It was a whole theatrical little thing. It was so funny. But and then that became a song that actually got me a big high roller to come to Reno when we were in Hawaii. And that's a funny little story. We went over to Hawaii to bring back gamblers from Hawaii to play at our casino. They used to send us over there all the time, and they have a ton of karaoke places in Hawaii. So we go to this place, and the two girls that were with this guy, they were picking out songs to sing, and they put their name on the list. And the guy says to me, he goes, "Hey, TC, why don't you sing a song?" I said, No, I'm not going to sing, you know. And so he goes, "Come on, sing a song." And he goes, "If you sing a song," he goes, "I'll come to your casino." And the guy that I traveled with, he's like licking his chops because he knows I sing. This guy doesn't know I sing. So he goes, if I do a song, you will actually come to our casino? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. So put my name on the board. And all of a sudden, I did Sex Machine by James Brown. And I'm standing on the cushion of the booth, and I'm singing to this bar in Hawaii, in Honolulu. And the owner of the place, a little Asian lady. She's coming over as I'm standing on the cushion, and she's holding my hand, looking up at me like women would do with Elvis, for crying out loud. And she's holding my hand, and I get done, and everybody's going crazy. And she goes, "You come work for me." She goes, "I make you lots of money." I'm sorry. I said, "I don't live here, you know." And she go, "Oh, no, move here. And so it was kind of funny. So we get done, and the guy in the booth goes, "You set me up." I go, "No, you set yourself up." And he goes, "All right, I'm coming to your casino." So it was a great ending for everybody, but it was really funny.
But let me ask you now, after that first time that you did karaoke, did the bug bite, or did it take a while for the bug to bite?
No. The bug was cemented, because for me, the words were right there. And it was so much easier to, even if you come in a little late on karaoke, you know, you can still make up ground a little bit. But when you sing with a live band, they really can cover you. You know, they can stretch things out a little bit, and everything is good. So there used to be a show in Reno that was dead on Monday nights. They used to have the band that used to play at the American Superstars. They used to, have the performers that would, I'm kind of searching for the word here, Frank. The performers that would act like Shania Twain or Garth Brooks, impersonators. Okay. So that's what I was looking for. But that band could play any music you could think of. Well, they used to have an open mic at the Hilton Casino in Reno. So I used to go down to the Hilton and sing every Monday night with the live band and stuff like that. And then, that was even before I karaoke. So yeah, once karaoke came around, it was like, whoa, so yeah, music is in me. I mean, unbelievable how it makes you feel.
It does. I'm trying to understand that. Why do I like to sing? What is it about singing? Well, it makes me feel good, but okay, why? What's at the root of all that? Is it a positive assertion that I exist, or what? What is it?
No, here's what it is. Music moves our minds. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it gives us our feelings, our emotions, our moods, and all of those. Because let's just say you're sitting on the couch and you're watching a movie, and you know how the music in a movie changes the dramatic parts of the movie, the way the actors present it.
Absolutely.
So all of a sudden, there's a line in there that's kind of emotional, but what makes it emotional is the music that plays while that line is being delivered. And it brings that tear to your eye, because if you just delivered the words to that line, it's not as dramatic as the music that brings your heartstrings into that emotion. So, and then when we listen to music, we get really happy, and good stuff happens at certain songs, and we go, "Oh man, I remember this song. I remember I was doing this, or this happened to me." But that's what music does. It makes us happy. It makes us sad. It makes us cry. It makes us laugh. That's what music is.
Oh yeah, it's indeed a fabulous thing. Now you've been around the karaoke scene, as stated before. I met you at Mad Mike's Restaurant Bar there in Mesquite, Nevada, and there usually everything gets shut down either by 9 or 10. We're talking about the karaoke scene, with a bar to follow soon after that, even on a Friday night, which is rather interesting because where you were at. That particular bar, 2 a.m., and they were doing karaoke. Quite a difference. What have you seen of the karaoke scene between Las Vegas, which I think you've been to, Las Vegas, Nevada, possibly done karaoke there, Mesquite, Beaver Dam, maybe even St. George? What places have you been to pursue karaoke?
I have been to Las Vegas, been to Reno and Sparks, Nevada, and Mesquite, Nevada. One of the funny things is the first time I went to Mad Mike's in Mesquite, Nevada to listen to karaoke, I got showered up at 8:00 and got dressed and went down there and got there about 20 minutes to 9. And I walk in and I'm listening, and all of a sudden the KJ lady, she goes, "Well, we got time for 2 more songs." And I'm like, 2 more songs?
Are you kidding me? It's only 9:00.
So I waited till it was all over, and I went up and talked to her, and I said, "What time do you start at?" And she goes, 5:00. I go, 5:00? She goes, "Yeah, 5 to 9. And and where I come from in Reno, I mean, the earliest you would probably find karaoke is probably 9:00 at night, and there would be a few places that you could go and karaoke. And like I said, that one went till 2 a.m. So it was a big shock for me to start showing up at karaoke at 4:30 to get on the list to sing a song. And when you were running karaoke here in Mesquite, I mean, karaoke becomes so popular, and it doesn't matter if you can sing or not.
Yeah.
People just want to get up and entertain.
Yes.
And the thing is that the list gets so long that it's really hard to get 2 or 3 songs in unless you're willing to stay all night, which I can't. I got a dog at home, so I try to get home and let him out and that stuff. But yeah, it gets so busy that it doesn't become fun anymore.
No,
it's great
no.
for
Past
the bar.
past 12 people attending, or maybe even 8. It starts becoming a long wait time for folks, and they get fidgety. Now, when you've got up to 30, and I've had that happen, I'm pulling my hair out because everybody's going to be upset. They all want to sing, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can try different ways, but in any case, they're going to be waiting a long time. The thing I thought was if they had concurrent karaoke events at different places like Mad Mike's and then at Peggy Sue's, if they were running at the same time, that would about cut the crowd in half. Of course, the bar owners wouldn't like that. They want everybody packed in there. So,
Exactly.
But 8 to 12 is manageable and doable. You start getting more than that, and it's frustrating for everybody, and that's sad. That's sad, but okay, it is what it is.
True. And we here in Mesquite, we actually have some good singers that show up at
Oh my
our
gosh,
showcase.
at Mad Mike's, so many good singers. I was floored when I walked in there, and I heard some of the folks singing. It was like, wow, they've got professional caliber wall to wall in this place.
Yeah. So it's fun, I'm still waiting for I don't know if you know this or not, Frank, but something related to the music industry. This is an honest to God true fact. I was almost married to Shania Twain.
Is that right?
Yep, true fact. And here's the story on that. If Shania would have known who I was and said yes, we would have been married.
That makes a whole lot of sense there, TC.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Look, did you ever do the Las Vegas karaoke scene?
Yeah, I did it down at Ellis Island. Ellis Island has it down there. Excuse me. But now Ellis Island, because people weren't spending any money and it was kind of like in a restaurant, they charge you a $20 cover charge to get in there.
Whoa.
And then you can use it towards food and drink. But still, it's got to deter a lot of people from going there. The best thing about karaoke is if you have the perfect venue. The only drawback with Mike's, because Mike's way into the karaoke scene, he likes us being there. And I just spoke to him about this last night. I said, you have to put something on these walls because he's got tile floor, cement walls, glass windows, and the ceiling's also got tiles on it. So there's nothing to absorb the sound. So all it does is keep bouncing off the walls.
Yep.
If there was something there to grab the sound and make it sound better and not so noisy in there, it would be fabulous,
Mm-hmm.
But there's not too many places that have karaoke around town. I mean, Peggy Sue's had it for a while.
It's gone.
But that is such a small venue. You know, if you want to change your mind, you have to go outside. You know, but yeah, it's a tough town. But we thank Mike for bringing it to Mad Mike's.
Yeah, State Line Casino used to have it starting at about 9 o'clock, and it used to run till midnight, sometimes 1 a.m., because I used to go. And not my most preferred venue because it was very dark, very smoky, and I didn't like that, but I liked the singing, so I would make the sacrifice, and then I'd go home with all kinds of nasal problems and everything from sucking up the smoke. So, okay.
Yeah, usually you have to cut your way through the smoke to get in there.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. And I don't
and
think
stuff.
they're hosting karaoke anymore. I've heard nothing about that. I hear that Peggy Sue's may be installing their own equipment in there, and then I don't know what they want to do with it. We'll see how that works out, if there's even any truth to that. Beaver Dam is always available. And, of course, there's St. George, Utah. You ever been out there to karaoke?
I went out there, and they don't start until 9 o'clock at night. They go 9 to 1.
Yep.
9 to 1. And it'd be interesting to go out there. Like you said, though, I'm 66, so I'd have to drive drive the 45 minutes there and drive the 45 minutes back. And usually, I'm in bed by 11:30, 12 o'clock. So, but I do want to go out there. Matter of fact, they do it on Fridays. And today's a Friday.
Today is a Friday, and there's a number of venues. I used to attend the One and Only. Now, it's that was an interesting place. It's mostly younger people in their early 20s, and maybe an older person might be 40 years old, and here was Grandpa Frank at 70 years of age walking in there. But I was very well received. They actually liked me, so that was good. Long time ago, and just like you're saying, they start too late for me in terms of where I am, and then having to drive home, 45 minutes, whatever it is. I don't like that. I think I'd have to spend the night. There are other venues there. There's Wings out there in St. George, and they have a karaoke DJ lady there, and I think there's something called the Firehouse or something like that. And I'd like to see some of that action because I like seeing how different karaoke DJs run their shows and what kind of talent shows up, what kind of songs are being sung. What do younger people like, because really my musical taste spans everything. Age does not define it. I like everything. If it's something that was brought out there yesterday and young people sing it, I don't mind singing it if I like it. What about you?
Yeah, I had lost, I won't say I lost my voice years ago after I was singing a bunch, but I lost my high-end range. I used to be able to do some of the 80s stuff, the big-haired 80s stuff, rock and roll, and I kind of lost my high-end range, and now I have to pick up songs that are more in my lower register to sing, which end up being oldies. I can do a Michael Bublé, I can do different things of that genre, but the new stuff, yeah, that's a little tough for me. And plus, I just don't learn them, I'm more, I just love the 60s and 70s type music.
Oh, so do I. So, beautiful. I like some of the doo-wop stuff. Now, talking about having to have a high-pitched voice, you got guys like Roy Orbison, and some of his high falsetto stuff, everything will be fine, and all of a sudden he hits these super high notes and you can't catch them. At least I can't.
Do you know, when I was working at the first place that I sang, the Peppermill Casino in Reno, we had a show with Roy Orbison, and it was a year before he died, and his voice was still so strong. It was unbelievable.
Oh, he was fabulous. One of my all-time favorites. Well, look, I've enjoyed visiting with you, and I hope you likewise have enjoyed the visit that we've had here with one another. What is your favorite song or songs of all time that you like to sing?
Tennessee Whiskey right now, and My Girl.
Okay, those are your two favorite ones. And of all the people you worked with that you introduced when you worked out there in Reno, the big bands and such, Who were your favorites and who were your absolute don't like them?
I'll start with the I don't like. It was Johnny Rivers. Great songs, just was being a butt. I'm out on stage getting ready to introduce him, and what I'm doing right before I introduce him was thanking all the volunteers for the event and everything. Now, there's probably 30,000 people out there in the audience and that stuff, and I want them to know, the people that are working this event for them, how much we appreciate them and respect them for what they do, and it can make this venue a great venue. And he was over there chirping to the soundboard man, get him off of the stage, get him off of the stage. I'm ready to go on. And if I would have known that, I would have dragged it out longer. But I was told that afterwards, and I'm going, you pompous little, and But one of my favorites, who performed probably all 22 years that I was there, was Peter Noon of Hermit's Hermits.
Oh, wow.
Just a class guy, had a great sense of humor. And I said, I have been introducing you forever. He goes, well, introduce me as Elvis Presley this time. So I did. And then he came out. But it was fun. And the guys from Kool and the Gang, I was talking to them prior to them going out. And I said, you guys need a white guy in the group. He goes, what? What color are we? They were super fun. I mean, they were just good guys. But most of the entertainers were, because at that point in life, Frank, they're past all that, the bull that goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're later in their years, and they're just enjoying themselves and collecting probably a better paycheck these days than they were when they were touring big time, because of all the expenses and everything that they had to lay out, as being the entertainer, So they made decent money in their career already, and then to come and do this for a decent amount of money, they were really down to earth. So it was a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Well, tell you what, I want to thank you for your time and for the wonderful conversation. And I want to let you have some last words here before we say goodbye.
It was a pleasure meeting you and working with you, and I hope you'll be back in Mesquite doing what you do. And I just want everybody to enjoy music, which how can you not? So good luck to everybody, and we'll talk with you soon, Frank.
Thank you, TC. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, guys and gals, that'll do it this time around. Thank you for listening. And remember, no matter how bad things get, keep on singing. See you soon. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
If it don't work out, if it don't work out, then you can tell me goodbye.